People in the village used to say hope doesn't visit everyone, but that night, it walked straight into her arms. Sara had finished washing the dishes when she heard a small cough outside her hut, barely a whisper, barely a voice. She stepped out, holding her shawl tight, expecting a stray dog or a wandering goat. But instead, she found a little boy, barefoot, shivering, clothes torn like he had been running through thorn bushes for miles. Eyes wide with fear, the kind of fear children shouldn't even know existed. He couldn't speak at first. He just kept pointing down the empty dirt road, as if trying to remember something that refused to return to him. "Where's your home?" she asked softly. His lips trembled. I don't know." Those four words made her chest tighten. His voice cracked with confusion. Not rebellion. His eyes were lost. Not stubborn. The boy had forgotten who he was. A cold wind passed through the trees behind them, carrying the smell of dust and loneliness. Sara looked around. Nothing. No one, just a child who belonged to somebody, yet belonged nowhere. She lifted him in her arms. He didn't resist. He simply rested his head on her shoulder like he had been searching for it all his life. And that was the moment her life twisted, gently, painfully, beautifully, into a story she never expected, because she didn't know. This boy wasn't just lost. He was missing from someone powerful, someone who had stopped smiling long before tonight, someone who would tear the world apart to find him. But for now, he was just a trembling child in desperate need of a heartbeat to fall asleep against. And she, soft-hearted, struggling, and alone, was about to become the only home he knew. Her village wasn't much. A few mud houses, a broken well, and long fields of dry grass that whispered with every breeze. But inside her tiny home, warmth existed, because she kept it alive. Her daughter, Isla, was barely 3, curly hair, sleepy eyes, and a laugh that made even the dullest days feel like sunshine. When she saw the boy, her little face lit up. "Mommy, who is he?" Sara gently set the boy down. "I'm not sure, sweetheart, but he needs somewhere safe tonight." The boy looked at Isla with a quiet, fragile smile, like he remembered what friendship was supposed to feel like. That night, he barely ate, he barely spoke. But when Sara tucked Isla into bed, the boy suddenly whispered, "Don't leave me alone." Something inside her dropped, a sensation like someone pulling a thread inside her heart. So she let him sleep beside Isla. The small souls breathing gently under a dim flickering lamp. When morning arrived, he still didn't remember his name. He didn't remember where he came from. He didn't remember a single thing about himself. But he remembered this. He never wanted to leave Sara's side. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, months into years. The villagers asked, "Why keep a child who isn't yours?" And she always answered with the same calm voice, "Because he needed a mother. And my heart, it needed him." But the village didn't accept kindness as easily as hardship. Work was scarce, food was short. And to growing children needed more than love to survive. So after 2 years of struggling, 2 years of scraping coins, skipping meals, hiding tears, she made a decision heavier than winter rain. She packed everything she owned, a few clothes, to blankets, and a pocket full of courage, and left the village for the city. The city was loud, harsh, unforgiving. But every morning, she woke up before sunrise, holding both children's hands, whispering, "We'll make it. I promise." Even when she had no idea how, she cleaned restaurants, carried boxes, washed clothes, anything she could find. But one afternoon, after walking miles searching for work, her knees finally gave up. She sat on the sidewalk outside a massive corporate tower, air-conditioned glass walls and polished marble floors, a world she wasn't meant to enter. Isla leaned on her left shoulder. The boy leaned on her right, and she held both of them like a mother trying to shield her entire universe. That's when a convoy of luxury black cars pulled up in front of the building. Engines quiet. Tires clean. Windows tinted. People around them stepped aside instantly. Fear, respect, curiosity mixing in the air. She didn't look up. She didn't care. Her world was too heavy. But someone in one of those cars noticed the boy. A heartbeat of silence passed. The car door opened. Slowly, a man stepped out. Tailored suit, cold. Eyes, a presence so sharp it made the air tighten. The CEO. He looked at the boy the way a drowning man looks at his first breath in years. His body froze. His jaw trembled. His chest caved inward like memories had just slammed into him. The boy stared back with confusion, not recognition, and that broke something inside the CEO so deeply. He could barely breathe. He approached her slowly. "Where did you get this child?" His voice was steady but carried a storm behind it. Sara held the boy close instinctively. "He isn't something I got. I've raised him for 2 years." The CEO knelt in front of the boy. His eyes softened in a way that didn't match his powerful appearance. "Do you know me?" he whispered. The boy shook his head. "I don't remember things. I only remember here." He pointed at Sara's hand holding his. The CEO closed his eyes. Just for a second. But the pain on his face looked older than mountains. He stood up, exhaled, and simply said, "You're hired. Come inside." She stared at him in disbelief. "Sir, I didn't even apply. You need work. My office needs workers. That's all." But the way he looked at the boy, it wasn't all. She began working there the next day, cleaning halls, wiping tables, scrubbing floors. The children finally ate full meals, laughed without hunger tightening their stomachs, slept without fear of cold nights. One evening, she was asked to clean the CEO's office, something she had never done before. She entered quietly. Everything smelled of luxury and loneliness, and then she saw it, a framed photograph on the wall. A smiling woman, a small boy, a younger version of the CEO. Her heart stopped. The child in the photo was the same child she had raised. Her breath cracked. Her legs weakened. The CEO walked in unexpectedly. "What are you doing?" She pointed at the picture, voice shaking. That's my son." His face hardened instantly. "No, he is my son." She shook her head, tears burning her eyes. "Sir, he lived with me for 2 years. I fed him when I had no food. I held him when he woke up screaming in the night. He calls me mom." The CEO clenched his jaw. 2 years ago, my son disappeared. I searched every country, every hospital, every street. He was taken from my home, and you're telling me he was with you?" She didn't argue. She just told him everything. The village, the lost boy, the memory loss. The 2 years of raising him like her own. By the end of her story, the CEO wasn't angry anymore. He was broken. He went with her to her tiny apartment. The boy saw him and froze, not afraid, just unsure. The CEO knelt again, voice trembling. "Buddy, it's me. I'm your dad." The boy held Sara's hand tighter. "Is he telling the truth?" Sara whispered softly. "I think." "Yes." The CEO covered his face, choking on a breath he didn't realize he'd been holding for 2 years. Tears fell, silent, heavy, full of everything he lost and everything he just found. The boy walked toward him slowly, then touched his cheek. "Why are you crying?" The CEO grabbed his tiny hand. "Because I thought I lost you forever." Sara watched them, a father rediscovering his heartbeat, a child being pulled between 2 worlds, and her own heart breaking quietly. Without complaint, the CEO finally stood and turned to her. "You saved my son. You gave him life when I was losing mine. I can never repay you, but I will try." He offered her a future she never dared imagine. Money, home, security, anything she needed. She didn't want luxury. She only asked for one thing. "Please, don't take him away from me completely. He's part of my heart now." The CEO's expression softened in a way she hadn't seen before. "I don't want to erase what you gave him." "What you gave?" She moved into a safe home, provided by the company. Worked a job with dignity. No more walking miles for scraps of work. No more skipping meals. so the kids could eat, and the boy, her boy in every way that mattered, spent days with his father, evenings with her and Isla, and weekends with both families together. One day, the CEO told her, "You know, he still calls you mom. I don't want that to change." Tears warmed her eyes. "I don't want to lose him." "You won't," he said gently. "Families aren't always born. Sometimes they're chosen, and for the first time in years, she felt safe enough to breathe without fear, because she didn't lose a child that day. She gained a family, a strange one, a blended one, but a real one. Isla gained a brother. The CEO regained a son, and she, a single mother who once had nothing, found herself holding more love than she ever believed she deserved. Sometimes life gets back what you thought was gone forever. Sometimes kindness circles back in the most unexpected ways. And sometimes a lost boy becomes the reason to lonely hearts finally become whole again.